Wednesday Night Rugby on Off the Ball.
With Vodafone, Ireland's most reliable mobile network and proud sponsor of the Irish rugby team.
Now you're welcome along. We were talking about the Women's World Cup already on the show today. There is another World Cup very much on the horizon. September is coming into view. One of the players who really, very very few players have made such an impact so early on in their time in an Irish jersey as Mack Hansen, who joins us now. Mack, you're very welcome to the show. Good to talk to you.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, I got to let the radio listeners know there's very sad news. Mack Hansen's shaved his head.
The hair is gone, yeah. Time for, I just like to keep people guessing, as I've been saying. So, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying having the short hair, going through that phase of my life. It's a nice little change up.
Mack, I can see you front on. I'm praying there's a hell of a mullet there behind.
Unfortunately not. Maybe that's the next thing. Maybe I can I'll start a poll on what I should grow next.
Oh dear, okay. I'm just presuming you lost another bet. That's what happened to your hair, frankly.
Sorry?
I'm just presuming you must have lost another bet that's what happened to your hair.
It's not that bad, is it? The new haircut?
No, it's just your original hair was so glorious.
Yeah. Look, the bleach kind of just absolutely killed it. So I'm on the road back. I know I've got a long road ahead of me, but the hair will make it. Don't worry.
You're still looking good. Don't worry. The reason I mentioned you must have lost another bet. So. Generally, when we speak to athletes, I'll have to read some kind of promotional line whereby, Mack Hansen is here promoting a protein drink or a Whoop or a Fitbit or eggs or take your pick. This is one of the more novel lines I've had to read, so you can explain a bit more to me what's going on here. So what I got was, we're joined by Red Bull athlete and Irish Rugby International Mack Hansen, who tomorrow is taking the next step on his tattoo adventure. Red Bull is reuniting the flying winger with former professional rugby player Jim Hamilton, and the legendary Scottish lock will settle a long-standing wager between himself and Hansen live on Red Bull Ireland's TikTok page. Tune in to @RedBullIRE tomorrow at 5:30 for more. The next step on your tattoo adventure, and it involves a wager with Jim Hamilton. I'll be honest with you, Mack, alarm bells are ringing.
Look, me and Jim made a bet a good while back, as people, a good amount of people know, and I was lucky to come out on the better end of it, to be honest. So yeah, it's how do we, as you said, like the tour keeps happening, and Jim's paying his bets, which is good to see. Okay,
sorry. So it's the next step of Jim Hamilton's tattoo adventure, not yours. It's Hamilton who's having to divvy up.
Pretty much, yeah. No. I'm safe. I'm finally won a bet, which is nice. Okay. Well, you know what? The Faz tattoo was a good win as well. Not many people can have a great excuse to chuck their coach's face and leg, but I had a very good one. So that was good.
Somehow this had passed me by until I knew I was talking to you today, where I as I would customarily do, I put your name into Google to see what was going on in your world, and I saw Mack Hansen lost bet to Johnny Sexton and therefore has Andy Farrell's face tattooed on his thigh, and I thought, no, that can't be right, but it turns out it's true. So Andy Farrell is what, on your right thigh?
He is, yeah.
How does Andy Farrell feel about this?
I think he likes it, yeah. No, he knew it was happening, so he said to me, if I didn't have it on my leg, I wouldn't be coming into camp, so it's a better sign than not letting me into camp because I had it on my leg.
Okay, so the deal was if Ireland won the Grand Slam, you had to get the tattoo.
Yeah. So I obviously wanted to get it, I knew it was something we could do, so it was, as I said, it was just an excuse. It was something I was always planning on getting.
Okay. Geez, I don't know. I'd be having last minute doubts, Mack. I'd be maybe throwing the game just to...
we almost did, to be fair. It wasn't our best game of the tournament, but it's, as I said, worse reasons to get a tattoo.
Well, let's talk rugby then. September is both in the distance and also rapidly approaching. It's that kind of weird stage, I'm sure, for the players. How have preparations been going? You've been in camp obviously a while now. Is it time in there and then time off and a lot of fitness work, or is it more tactical? Or give us a sense of what's been going on, say, over the last couple of weeks in all this rain as well.
We've been... I we've been training hard. It's been hard, but a fair campaign. So at the time being, everyone's just kind of got a little pre-season going. As I said, putting in a lot of groundwork to build for these next couple of weeks. We've got a game against Italy next week, so there is an end in sight to the pre-season, which is good. A lot of people will be very relieved of that. And pretty much after that, we're kind of fully into it. We have a training camp, then into another game, and it's pretty go from now on. So it's definitely starting to ramp up, and definitely starting to kind of hit home that we're off to World Cup soon.
In a pre-season of a World Cup year like this, does everybody lift it a couple of notches? Are people knocking out PBs in the gym, and there's a sense of I'm going to get fitter than I've ever been before, or maybe is that counterproductive in some ways? How do you approach it?
The staff have set it up really well for us to kind of, put up good numbers, get in good shape without kind of absolutely draining us and taking it out of us towards the start and the end of the tournament. So, as I said, it has been hard, but it has been good in the sense of how they've done it all. It's given us opportunities to kind of try hit PBs if we want to, but also, reel it back in if that's something that you feel you need for a week or so. So,
yes.
It's been very fair on everybody.
I know you've probably talked about this plenty, but if you'd indulge me for a moment, your move over here, I feel like it's, I don't know, does the story get exaggerated through retelling or not? Like, it's now distilled in my mind to, Mack used to drink in the same bar as Andy Friend's son, and so I feel like, it's almost like Moe's Tavern, where someone rang and said, anyone want to play rugby in Ireland, and you almost put up your hand and said, I'll go.
So me and Andy's son are good mates. Drink. He worked at the bar, and I drank there. So, and then I kind of was already talking to Friendy as well. So it wasn't like he was a sort of middleman going, "You got to sign this guy" or anything like that.
Okay.
But it is a better story. So people can tell it however they want to.
Yeah, and when you were making the move to Ireland, or when you were talking with Andy Friend, was playing for Ireland a big part of the ambition? Were the IRFU involved in that? Was this kind of I'm going to go and I'm going to try and play for Ireland, or was it more so just I'm going to go to Connacht type move?
I went over knowing I had my passport, I had my mum's heritage behind me as well. Knowing that, hopefully one day I could play some good footy and it could happen, but the short-term goal was just to go over and play some good footy and then just enjoy myself, travel and try something new. I couldn't imagine that it was going to turn into this and how quickly it did. It's been a roller coaster, but, just enjoying the ride, so it's been great.
It's unbelievable how quickly it all happened. I mean, it just whirlwind. You went over for the 21-22 season. I remember your first training camp with Ireland ahead of the 22 Six Nations last year. And I remember in the build to the tournament, Andy Farrell had said, I'm impressed with Mack Hansen. But so impressed that he threw you in your 2022 World Rugby Breakthrough Player of the Year. I think in your 8 Six Nations matches, you've had 3 Man of the Match awards. You throw in the try against South Africa in November. It's kind of insane. You must have kind of been pinching yourself some way through the 2022 Six Nations that it was happening so quickly.
Yeah, it's for sure. When I made my debut and everything, it was definitely a pitchy moment, but kind of everything has been happening pretty quick that I haven't had too good of a chance to kind of sit back and really enjoy it all yet. Enjoyed the spoils of winning the Grand Slam and doing all that, 2 Triple Crowns as well. So there has been some really high points, but no, I haven't tried to look back on it all too much just yet. Just with the main goals kind of coming up now. So once all that's sort of done and the World Cup's over, and hopefully be lifting that trophy, then that's something I'll definitely take a lot of time to just kind of really, really enjoy it and appreciate kind of how far I've got. Not that I haven't at the moment, but
yes,
this has always been the goal that we're kind of setting ourselves up for. So there's no time to kind of look back just yet.
No, I appreciate that. It's interesting you do say hopefully lifting that trophy. You're not shying away from that kind of a talk. It is the stated ambition. This team is good enough. They're world number one team in the world to talk about winning the trophy.
Yeah, there's a good few amount of teams that are good enough as well, and everybody's, the World Cup just hits different, kind of, doesn't it? It's a lot of high pressure moments and everything, but as a team we think we're ready, and I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we weren't talking about, this is what we want to do. It's what every team wants to do. You don't enter the World Cup thinking you're going to lose or anything like that. So that's our ambition, and we think we're good enough to get there for sure.
And I sense that's how this team has talked under Andy Farrell continually. It definitely seems that even earlier this year, winning the Grand Slam was a stated aim, was talked about, and it's not like that tripped the team up.
Yeah, no, we've focused on everything as it's come. It's been a bit of a plan for the last 2 years, as far as I've been in there.
Yeah,
everything's kind of set up to focus on what we're doing for that time being. So, getting towards the World Cup, starting to think about it a lot more. But in saying that, we're also thinking about the test matches that are coming up, because end of the day, we still have 3 test matches to play against 3 really good teams, and then it's all World Cup chat. So we're kind of focusing on winning those as well. We've broken a record for winning the most times at home, and we want to continue that record as well. It'd be nothing worse than losing the Aviva as well as that. So
yes,
that's our main focus, our main goal, and then it gets interesting.
Well, it sure does. I mean, either way, assuming you make the quarterfinal, it's France or New Zealand. Take your pick. Yeah,
same with the semi-final, and then who knows who's going to make it from the other end. Yeah. But we've talked about it a lot. You got to beat everybody anyway. So it's a tough pool. It's a tough way to get there, but you want to be lifting the trophy. You got to beat everybody in your way.
As for your role in the team, Andy Farrell came out, it might have been a year ago now, when people were talking about the style of play, and he was saying that when it comes to his wingers, he doesn't necessarily want tidy wingers who stay on the touch line and stay in their tram line. He wants messy wingers, was the line he used, getting involved in the game, smelling where the ball is, getting on the end of things. I mean, you're kind of the personification of that, really. You're popping up here, there and everywhere. I'm sure some of it is pre-planned and some of it isn't, and you seem to thrive on that, I would say. I'd be curious for your sense of what it is you think Andy Farrell wants from you, and how you go about delivering it for Ireland.
It's plain and simple. Andy and all the coaches and all the staff, and like all the players, everybody involved just wants you to be yourself. So whether that's on the field, whether that's off the field, it's kind of something I've always done. I guess I wasn't winging my whole life growing up, so I've played in a good few positions and experienced from different angles, which I guess kind of helps me out a lot more. And then on top of that, it's just the players I'm playing with make it a lot easier for me to do my jobs. It's playing with some absolutely world-class players, some of the best players in Ireland history as well. So it's just learning how they play and learning how we want to play the game, and then just getting your head around it and doing it.
And Mack, if you just, I don't know, based on your experience, on your instinct, on how you feel the game is going, or what you're just smelling in the air, if you kind of feel, do you know what, I fancy a cut in field here, and just seeing what's happening, you're allowed to do that. There's an encouragement to do that, is there?
It's just, the encouragement is literally just to play footy, just don't be robots. Something might be happening, we might have a play call, but if we see something better, take the opportunity. That's what footy's all about. It's just go out there, have fun, and play what's in front of you. And
that, to be fair, some rugby players like being robots and like all the detail and having the pre-planned moves and sticking to a plan. I guess, as you say, you've played lots of positions. Maybe you have more of a feel for the game. You would have spent a fair bit of time without half. Am I right in saying that as a youngster?
At what position, sorry?
At 10.
Yeah. 10 and fullback were probably my main ones.
Okay.
Go on.
So that must give you, as you said, a great appreciation of what others are thinking and how you can get involved. You're not a stranger to being in the middle of the park.
No, it also gives me a great appreciation for not playing 10. Too many calls and too many headaches gone for those lads. So, no, but it definitely does. It I think it's the good thing of, when you're younger and you're playing footy, don't kind of put yourself to one spot. Try out a few. And I growing up, if you told me I was going to be a winger growing up, I would have said you're crazy. But since I've been there and made the move, I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it, and I think that does come down to just the sides I've been playing in, and we're playing some good fun footy and seeing a lot of ball as well. So that always helps with making you enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'll bet. Am I right in saying mother from Cork?
My mum's from Cork, yeah. So family's from Middleton and Castlemata.
Was there and by the way, this isn't like a test. You're allowed to say, no, I was an Australian kid and I was just too busy living life to care about a country the other side of the world. But was there a sense of Irishness in the house? Did you feel half Irish? Was that a big part of your childhood, or less so?
Yeah, no, there was. I'm not just saying that as well. My mum's side of the family, they've all got, thick Cork accents. And even though my mum was quite young when they moved over, my uncles and aunties were a little bit older. And whenever we'd go to Nana's, it was always, and Granddad's, it was always Irish stews and potatoes and a lot. So, no, definitely got both sides of the culture, which was nice. And yeah, I actually went down to Cork the last break, got down to Middleton and Castlemata. I got to see where they grew up and where they lived, which kind of hit home for me as well a lot. It was really cool to see where my family grew up over there. It's now a takeaway called Mr. Tasty, I think, which is quite bizarre, but yeah, it was really nice to kind of experience it a lot and enjoyed it.
I hope Mr. Tasty gave you a free chicken and chips.
He was closed. Otherwise, would have loved to. I'll have to head back some other time. Yeah, shout out to Mr. Tasty.
Yeah, we can bring the World Cup to Mr. Tasty in 6 months' time. How about that? What an amazing and unexpected journey for the Irish side of the family then. What are they making of this unexpected turn of events?
Sorry, just broke out.
No worries. I was saying, what an amazing, probably unexpected journey for the Irish side of the family then, to have Mack playing in an Irish jersey. What are they making of these crazy last 2 years?
Sorry, it's just kind of clattering up a bit. Oh.
Is it in and out? I'll go again. We might get lucky. I'll keep the question shorter, hopefully. Your Irish family, Irish side of the family, they must be blown away by you playing for Ireland all of a sudden. Like, what's it like for them?
Oh, right. Yeah, got you there. Oh, look, they've been incredibly supportive. I definitely didn't get to talk to them enough growing up, and when I didn't know I had so much family over here, I'll be honest with you on that part. But ever since I've come over, everybody's been reaching out to me, and I was lucky enough to go down and see them, spend time with them, and they've come up to Galway a couple of times, and it definitely made me feel home away from all my other family back in Oz. So it's been cool. They just treat me like a normal person, which I am. So there's no real chat about the footy, or they never ask me for tickets, even though I can get them some. They always buy their own, which is I think it just shows that they just see me as family. They don't see me as a rugby player.
A slightly random question: why did Australia not have you playing for Australia?
At the time, I kind of wasn't playing a lot for Brumbies, and I was lucky enough to play a bit more before I came over and could string a few big, good games together and whatnot. And then on the other side of that, it's probably just like Oz have some very good wingers at the moment. Mark Nathaniawasi and Korobetti they're unbelievable. They're two wingers that have been playing great footy. And then there were some guys that I was even playing with, Andy Muirhead and Tom Wright and stuff like that are great wingers. Tom Wright's been getting more of a go, but Andy, he's been playing great footy for years and years and never really got a go. So it's hard to say really, but I know there's just a lot of really good depths down there in that position. So that's just kind of the way it played out.
Yeah, well, look, I'm sure they feel like you're one that got away now. So you must feel like you're playing the best rugby of your career, I guess. And as I mentioned, you've had this knack of getting Player of the Match awards and scoring big tries in big games. Honestly, one of the, and I'm curious for what was going on in your head, one of the most ridiculous, freakiest, amazing tries I've seen in the last 18 months of rugby was your try in the Stade de France from kickoff after 7-8 minutes. I mean, bizarre, really, like extraordinary. One, how you didn't get clattered and smashed, I don't know, but you just seem to be eyes for the ball. Like your memory of that crazy 10 seconds.
So we'd planned pretty much all week to kick Rice, and then it was just a switch of play. We just saw they set up a bit different on the left, and I said that. See, I said it before. I just knew if I didn't sprint as hard as I could, Faz would have just yelled at me. So that was literally the only thing going through my head. Just sprint, get the tackle, and then go from there. And then as I'm sprinting, I just saw I was getting closer and closer to the ball, and it went over his head, and it was kind of just stick the hands out and hope. And I was lucky enough to just right in the midst. So there wasn't too much thought going through my head. That was the only one of just don't get yelled at half time. Okay,
that's the key message. Andy Farrell yelling at anyone's not pleasant.
Yeah, it's next job focus, which he's very clear about.
But though, a great instinctive try on your part and such an unusual one. But even I hadn't realised you were planning to go to the other side of the pitch and then the switch because you're reading what's in front of you. That again goes to your point about, as you would say it, playing footy, playing what's in front of you. Don't be overly programmed.
Yeah, that just came down to. That was Joey Carberry was playing at the time, and it just shows the depth, and as I think how far we've come as not playing what we said we were going to be playing, and as you said, just taking the opportunities when they present themselves. So
yeah, is Galway starting to feel like home? Do you feel settled there?
I do. Yeah, I've got a house here actually. In Galway, got a dog. I have a girlfriend. She's not a Galway girl, unfortunately, but she's from Sandy Mountain, Dublin. So no, it's definitely feeling like home, and everybody around me's made it feel a lot like home as well. I got some great friends, and as I said, got some family over here, and plan on being here for the next while at least.
Yeah. What's the dog called?
Lemmy, named after lead singer Motorhead.
Well, listen, I mean, you'd be mad to pick any other name, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm into my rock, and so is he. He's actually next to me at the moment, being a little pain in the ass, but no, he's a good dog. He's a good boy.
Well, we appreciate him. He's been very quiet. And I guess Connacht, the style of rugby that Connacht play, I mean, it's really interesting. I'd say 10 or 15 years ago, not least because of the weather, Connacht would have played a very different style of rugby, whereas now it's skills and passing and running rugby, and again, that must all suit you down to the ground.
Yeah, that was the thing that I kind of talked to Andy about before coming over, and he said they wanted to play expansive style of footy. And I think that's why we do so well, especially at home at the moment. We train in the rain and wind. We live in it. So it's made. If anything, it's actually helped our skills a lot. Like we're not afraid to play in those conditions, no matter how bad it is. I think that's what makes it a really tough place to come down to. Not everyone's experiencing it pretty much 24/7 like we are, but we've all learned to love it in the end.
Yeah, and geez, I'd say then on a dry day, you must all feel like you can't miss.
Yeah, it's almost a bit bizarre. It's like it's crazy. It actually is. If you get a nice sunny day, especially in wintertime, it's almost like a bit of voodoo for us. I don't know. It feels strange playing in the sun.
Yeah. So in terms of camp then, keeping things entertaining, interesting, have you had any notable people come in and talk to the squad or come in and play music or anything like that going on at the moment, Mack?
We've had a good few amount of people come in and kind of just normally every Thursday Mick, the manager of the team, kind of gets someone in to go over and talk to us and change things up in that retrospect, which is really cool. You meet some really interesting people. Lucky enough to hear a lot of really, really cool stories. And then we also have crack. We call it just a bit of crack between players, mostly before meetings and mostly Tuesday night as well. Dave Kilcoyne's a big part of that. He brings plenty of crack, and along with John Fogarty as well. They seem to be the two that are setting up the games and whatnot, and they do a pretty good job at it.
So sorry, what does crack entail?
It's just games, pretty much. It's going back to being a bit of a child, if I'm being honest. It's what did we play the other day? We played a kind of red light, green light sort of game where when Killer turns around, you got to kind of hide behind something and try to get past him. In the end, bringing it back to the roots, pretty much. Very, very childish games, but they seem to work. The boys seem to enjoy them a lot.
Hey, listen, red light, green light, or a book club, we're all picking red light, green light, in fairness.
We are.
Anybody, not to put you on the spot, make an impact on you of the speakers who've been in on a Thursday? I don't want to put you under pressure for names if you can't remember names, but anybody interesting?
Look, as I said, I kind of don't want to leave anybody out. Everybody that we've had in has been great. They kind of bring different things as well. We had a bloke called Kenton Cool, who he's climbed Everest 17 times, I think it is. He was saying,
wow.
He talked a lot about he talks a lot about kind of things that we're implying into our squad at the moment, and how he kind of uses those for his climbs, which was great. We also had Gregory Harrington, who is an unbelievable violinist, who came in and kind of changed up. He did a lot of versions of like classical versions of rock songs and stuff. It was amazing. So, as I said, I could go on and on with the amount of people we've had. Everybody's been amazing. They're just two, I guess.
Yeah.
Two. I remember Kenton just because Kenton Cool is a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
And then he was not just the other week, and as I said, he was really cool.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. You need to get those guys playing some green light, red light with Kilcoyne afterwards. That'd be the perfect Thursday.
I don't know if they can hang with it. We're very good at the kids' games now.
I would say so. Listen, I know you got to run. Thank you so much for your time. Great to talk to you. The very best of luck, obviously, at the World Cup. It's going to be an epic couple of weeks, to say the least. And also the best of luck tomorrow, when it would seem on the Red Bull TikTok channel, Jim Hamilton is going to have to tattoo something awful onto his body at your request. So I look forward to that as well. Mack Hansen, real pleasure. Thanks a million, Mack.
Great talking to you. Thank you.
Likewise. Cheers. Mack Hansen with us there live on the line. And Wednesday Night Rugby on Off the Ball is with thanks to Vodafone, Ireland's most reliable network and proud sponsor of the Irish rugby team.
Wednesday Night Rugby on Off the Ball.
With Vodafone, Ireland's most reliable mobile network and proud sponsor of the Irish